It has gone fantastically well. I believe the discussion has reached a level of maturity that was impossible to imagine when we started 5 years ago, and that we're beginning to deal with the subtleties and nuance of some of the issues, and it gives me great hope for how that science and industry is going to tackle decommissioning as a whole, not just in the North Sea as a regional sea, but wider beyond. This workshop has brought some very disparate groups together. When we first started these meetings, the chaps from the oil and gas industry thought that they might be lynched by the scientists. And to now see the level of interaction and discussion and interest in each other's views is really the purpose of the Society for Underwater Technology and the purpose of the Marine Alliance for Science and Technology. So I genuinely believe that we're reaching our aims. It's all very well, and it's very nice to have these get-togethers. I believe it's the actions from one meeting to the next. I think Sally Rouse from SAMS must be completely commended for what she has done with Kate Gormley from Aberdeen, in specifically trying to get to the bottom of some of the decommissioning issues and start a dialogue about what we think is important and what we think is not so important from a scientific point of view. Going from this meeting, I think there are huge issues of liability, the inability still to get good data about things such as pipelines that one would think was common knowledge of what was put in and how. So what we all do over the next 12 months is crucial to how quickly this debate goes forward and how we find acceptable solutions. It's extremely important that if we are truly discussing the North Sea as a regional sea, that we go and properly interact on an industry and academic level with our partners in the region, Norway, Denmark, the Netherlands in particular. So that engagement, so we no longer look at maps that show what we're doing in the Scottish sector and what's beyond is a void. I would like to think that that might be addressed by next year. I think that's extremely important. Also, I think it's very, very important that we understand what has been happening in the United States, how they look at rigs to reefs, how they scuttle ships, and it's not the owners that scuttle them, it is the parks, the regional parks in Texas. So I do believe that there's much to be brought to our whole dialogue by understanding how other countries deal with very, very similar issues. And one thing's for sure, we may get some things right here, but we do not get everything right. One of the main thrusts of what we're doing is saying this is a holistic, lifetime approach to activity in the marine ecosystem. So decommissioning is just one part of that, and I think some of the challenges going forward are really embracing what I would call smart use of oceans and seas, and also coming away from what I think is a very anthropomorphic sort of position, that what we do for the short period of time with structures that we have put in the oceans and seas is the most important thing. We should be designing some of the infrastructure that we put in for use beyond its main economic purpose to the companies involved. So it's a very, very wide scope that's been addressed here, and that's fantastic.